Hi again, it's just me again. Of course, it's me, Mishy, and the channel is called Mishy's Home because this is the first time since I was age 17 that I haven't been working. I went into, well, at age 17, I went into work. No, that's it, I was 18. 17, I was working part-time in a shop, and I was also doing babysitting and that. But just before I was 18, I went and worked for a year as what was then known as a nursing auxiliary. And then after a year, I went and did my nurse training. And then I was a staff nurse working on surgical wards and all sorts of things. And then I went into working with geriatrics. And after that, I got a place to do midwifery training, which I loved it. When I qualified as a midwife, though, I decided I was going to work in the special care baby unit. That was let's get these glasses sorted out. That was my favourite thing, to be sort of with the premature babies and the sick babies. And when needed and when we weren't busy, I'd go over onto the paediatric ward, which I loved. I loved working with children and babies. And some of them I still see, amazingly, which is really good. And anyway, that's just by the by. I stayed in nursing for many years. Then when I was in America, I worked as a teacher's aide for, it was a class for special needs children aged 5 to 7. And that was fun, actually. I got to know a lot about autistic children. There was Down syndrome, cerebral palsy. What else? Mainly it was Downs and cerebral palsy. Yeah, that was mainly it, and autism. But that was fun. And then I worked in a nursing home, not as a nurse. I worked as what they call a unit secretary. So I was pretty much transcribing prescriptions, liaising with the insurance companies so that these people, the residents, patients, could have whatever tests they needed or medications that may not have been covered by their insurance. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I'm sorry, coffee and a chat, I'm sorry you live in America and you deal with this. But it made me very, very glad when I did come home to, I'm wearing the same top as yesterday, you'll have to excuse that. But it made me very glad for our NHS, I tell you. Not that the care you got over there was poor or anything, not at all. But yeah, I was just glad to get back to the NHS. Just a little bit of background for, I don't know your real name, I can't remember, but coffee and a chat. What was I going to say? I don't know whereabouts in the States you're living, but I lived in Pennsylvania for 20 years. Not far from Allentown, sort of in the middle of Allentown and Reading. So a lot of Amish and Mennonite buggies would be going around. And yeah, it was quite interesting. I had lessons from the Mennonites in quilting. And I really must get into quilting. Yeah, it was great, but it just wasn't home. And then when I did come home, it was because my dad was poorly, and it was time to come home. So I did. And that's that. What I forgot yesterday about my sister was that she said that she has an old, well, I say old, they've just bought a new printer, and the one that they had worked fine, although it kept on disconnecting itself from their internet. So they've asked if we wanted it, and I said, yeah, we'll give it a try. So we're going to be getting a printer, which will be very useful for me when I'm, I don't know, printing out a cross-stitch chart or something, so I don't have to mark up the original. So that would be good. What else was I going to say? I know what I was going to talk about, and this might be just me, but last evening Ian, I've done it again, I've told his name. He was playing games on his phone, and I thought, right, I'll play a game. So I was doing that. The adverts, they are the stuff of nightmares. You have this person coming down this tunnel, and this big snake or something is coming after it, whilst the wall with the sharp spear things are coming towards him, and you've got to get all these blocks. I thought, I'm not playing that game. And do you know, it made me stop playing it because it was stressing me out seeing these adverts, and I was looking for ways to get out of it quickly, and that didn't work. So, I mean, what is it with these games? Why do people want to be, I don't know, stressed out? Was it just me getting stressed out by it all? I don't know. Anyway, so that was that. So instead I sat and did some knitting, and I said I was going to show you this knitting. I've got to sew the ends in, but I've done 2, and I'm almost halfway through the 3rd corner to corner blanket, if you see it. And what you do, you start off with 1 stitch, then you make a stitch. So you've then got 2 stitches, then you do knit 1, make 1, knit 1, so you had more stitches, and you keep on like that until you get, well, I usually do it to the end of 100 grams, and then you do 1 straight row, and then you decrease 1 stitch at the beginning of each row until you get to nothing again. So there that is. That's a nice green bluey one. This one, this is really a bit stash busting. So it's another one, exactly the same, but in a different colourway. You can see it's sort of changed here, so I don't quite know what I was thinking about, but it's still quite nice. Just got to sew the ends in and give it a wash. And this is the one I'm on right now. Forgive me for not looking at you at the moment. As I said, I'm nearly, when I've finished this bit, I'll be able to start doing my straight row and then decreasing again. And when you do your make ones at the beginning, do you see this ridge, this pattern at the edge? So you can do that. I have seen a pattern, I think it might have been on Facebook, I can't remember, but it's one where you can knit almost like a picot lacy type edge separately and then stitch it onto your blanket. So I thought about it, but then I don't know. Will I have enough of this wool left to do it? But anyway, so that's the blanket knitting. So I was working on that last night. I didn't do any on the top. I'm not sure where I'm going to donate these. The idea was that they would go to Bliss, the baby life support systems charity. I think that's what it stands for. They donate a lot of blankets and booties, mittens, hats, cardigans, whatever, to neonatal and special care baby units around the country. And that's a really good charity. But then I was thinking, are there babies in Ukraine or Gaza even who might need them more? So I'm going to do a bit of Googling and see if there is any way to get the blankets over there, if anybody's going over from this area. And yeah, if not, they're going to Bliss. And that's that. What else have I been doing? I've done a little bit of diamond art. Now, shh. I got one to make for the hubby for Christmas. We're not telling him about this. It's racing cars. He likes his racing cars. And he really likes McLaren. So one in front is orange on it, which is McLaren's colours. So I thought, well, I don't know that it is actually McLaren, but we'll do it. I'll get it framed. And that'll be one of his Christmas presents. And I expect he'll like it. Maybe he'll put it up with the shelves with the cars. That's a good idea, I think. Went out this morning, had a meeting at the church. Well, it was meant to be a meeting with me and another lady and the coordinator, because we were going to do the reception desk at church on a Monday morning. But unfortunately, the other ladies dropped out. And because of, I suppose it's health and safety or insurance or whatever, they won't let one person do it on their own. And I can see the reason why. But right now that is on hold. But I had a nice meeting with the coordinator. We chatted away. We went through the church directory of people to see who might be able to do it to help out. And it's a shame, really, because I think it's an important part of church life to welcome people in. But we keep praying, and somebody will come up, and that'll be fine. I'm just looking to see what this is. It's a bit of cross stitch that my mother had done. Bless her. My mum had done that cross stitch, and it's in a frame, and she pops up every now and then, something that my mum did, and it's a nice remembrance for me. Okay, I think that might be it for today. I might tomorrow do a video of us travelling up to Manchester so you can see the traffic. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to have to look up her real name. I can't remember. I want to say Jill. No, it's gone. But do think about following Coffee and a Chat, because lovely lady, she comments a lot here, and she's one of my faithful viewers. I have 5 subscribers now. Oh yes, but Richard Harwood, I didn't really understand your comment. 314. Is that where I was having a bit of a rant about my sister? Maybe not appropriate, but yeah, I've got to learn editing. I'm going to have to do a practice nothing video and then see if I can go blah, 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 blah in the middle of it and then edit that bit out, just so I can learn how to do it. Isn't that pathetic? But never mind. Okay, well, I'm out of here now then, and I'll talk to you all probably next week after we've been to Manchester and come back. We're going to go to a market in Bury, I think. It's about, she said it's about a 40-minute bus ride. So that's not too bad from where she is. And then maybe home late tomorrow night. But it'd be rather nice. I still don't understand how my other half can do all that driving in one day, but he does. So I'm out of here. Right. Okay. I've said that before. I'm going. Bye-bye. See you soon.